No one saw this coming. Not a soul thought Pierre would break his silence. Not a single person imagined he would step into the light, unguarded, and tear away the mask Teyana Taylor had worn for years. Raw, relentless, unrestrained, he came for the truth and nothing would survive in its path. Tonight, Pierre is done playing by anyone's rules. No diplomacy. No excuses. No protection for her carefully crafted image. Because according to him, this betrayal didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a slip. It wasn't public. It was hidden, threaded through whispers in shadowed hallways, encrypted texts, quiet phone calls. The moments Teyana assumed were safe, invisible, untouchable. But Aaron documented it all. Screenshots. Voice notes. Every timeline, every word, every move preserved. And after months of humiliation, erasure, blame for things he never did, he is finally ready to release the storm. Insiders claim this isn't just a confession. It's a rupture. Aaron didn't just speak, he exploded. This is a man unloading decades of deceit, a truth he was forced to swallow while the world believed in her innocence. The promises Teyana made. The deals she kept secret. The web of manipulation that threw him under the bus the instant complications arose. Aaron insists she didn't merely betray him. She weaponized him. She deceived him. He controlled him. And when he finally pieced it all together, the horrifying reality emerged. He was far from her only victim. Tonight he's lifting the veil, revealing lies, clandestine strategies, hidden alliances, and a betrayal so calculated it nearly ended his career. What he uncovered is more sinister than anyone ever imagined. Before a single message was exposed. Before one screenshot saw daylight. Before he even hinted at her treachery, there was a period when they were inseparable. Creatively, professionally, privately. A connection the world envied yet never fully understood. Fans glimpsed the chemistry. The public admired the polished images, the interviews radiating mutual respect, collaboration, vision, and trust. For a moment it seemed invincible. But beneath the surface, a lattice of unspoken promises, concealed ambitions and emotional landmines lay waiting. This wasn't just a partnership. Not just two artists collaborating. It was deeply personal. Layered with vulnerability, aspiration, and secrets neither ever expected would resurface. Sources reveal Aaron trusted Teyana above anyone. He admired her genius, her discipline, her merciless honesty, her fierce loyalty. He let her guide him through decisions he couldn't navigate alone, believing in her vision. But Teyana, she thrived on dominance. The control, the leverage, the quiet authority behind closed doors. To Aaron she was a mentor. To Teyana he was an instrument. He was a tool. A resource. A means to an end. And that imbalance, that quiet inequity, became the seed from which every disaster would grow. Sources close to Aaron say the shift was subtle at first, almost imperceptible. Teyana began asserting more control, nudging decisions in her favor. She insisted on approving deals. She dictated collaborations. She oversaw how he presented himself, always under the guise of protection. But protection from what? The cutthroat industry? Misguided counsel? Or from the truth she was meticulously hiding behind his back? Those around Aaron noticed the faint warning signs long before he did. Meetings were postponed at her request. Opportunities dismissed because it doesn't fit your long-term brand. Commitments delayed because she needed him for something she never explained. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, Aaron's orbit tightened around her influence. What he didn't realize was the extent of her plan. While he moved in her shadow, she was constructing her own path. A trajectory that didn't include him, at least not in the way he believed. One insider revealed he thought they were forming a partnership, a team. She was quietly amassing leverage. And then came the pivot. The project meant to elevate them both. A venture of late nights, confidential planning, exhaustive rehearsals and mutual trust. Teyana painted Aaron as its centerpiece, the shining face, the star she would lift to new heights. But behind closed doors she orchestrated something far more sinister. A separate agreement that excised him, financially, creatively, contractually, without a word of warning. The betrayal wasn't a single, shattering moment. It unfolded in whispers, deleted messages, clandestine calls, minor production shifts she dismissed as trivial. Aaron, ever loyal, ever trusting, poured everything he had into her vision. His time. His reputation. His very name. But while he labored toward the pinnacle of his career, she was meticulously planning its sabotage. Insiders confirmed that early on she positioned herself as the sole architect, stripping him of authority, exploiting his concepts while ensuring he received no recognition, presenting the work to executives as entirely her creation. Yet she was careful. If Aaron discovered her deception, he would walk. He would expose her. He would alert others. So she kept him close, fed him hope, kept him invested emotionally and professionally. Meanwhile, she finalized contracts behind his back. And it didn't stop there. As she secured her gains, she whispered to the industry that Aaron was difficult, unreliable, inexperienced, poisoning his reputation while the world listened. Her words carried weight. Doors closed quietly. Opportunities vanished without explanation. Calls ceased. Collaborators drifted away. And Aaron, unaware, blamed himself. He thought he had failed. He didn't realize the very woman he trusted most had been quietly erasing him from the equation, building a narrative to justify his removal entirely. The moment of reckoning wasn't a deal, a lie, or a contract. It came when he stumbled across a message she intended to erase, a digital breadcrumb revealing months of calculated deception. And the person she had been conferring with? Someone Aaron never suspected. This wasn't merely professional sabotage. It was personal, intimate. What he uncovered would annihilate her carefully curated image. The instant Pierre's eyes fell on that message on Teyana Taylor's phone, the one she had tried to erase, the one she thought perfectly hidden, time seemed to stop inside him. This wasn't the pause before anger. No. This was the freeze that happens when your world unravels, when the lie you've lived inside collapses like a house of cards. He had gone to her apartment that night under the pretense of finalizing project details. She sounded tense, distracted, distant. He chalked it up to stress. Teyana had always been juggling 1,000 things at once, but the truth? She had engineered this moment. She wanted him close enough to monitor, far enough from the truth to remain blind. When she stepped outside for a quick call, her phone vibrated on the table. Aaron hadn't intended to look. He hadn't planned to pry. But the notification preview appeared, and it hit him like a freight train. From his name. From someone he respected. Someone he assumed was neutral. Someone who had publicly offered encouragement, yet privately wielded a far darker hand. The message read, "He still doesn't know. Good. Keep him calm until we finish paperwork." Aaron froze. Keep him calm. Keep him calm. Keep him calm. The words ricocheted through his mind, warping into something sinister, something controlling. Manipulation. Strategy. A plan he was never meant to uncover. Then the next message appeared beneath it. Don't slip. If he finds out now, everything falls apart. His heart plummeted. He unlocked her phone. She had never changed her password for him, assuming she'd never need to. A small oversight that would shatter everything. What he found inside was devastating. Message after message, week after week, month after month. Teyana and this man had been communicating behind his back, plotting, strategizing, using his project as if he were a naive child unworthy of the truth. A pawn. Business had become personal. Voice notes leaked cruel laughter at Aaron's innocence. Messages whispered, "He listens too much. He won't question anything. Let him believe it's our project, for now." Aaron's stomach turned, but the final dagger came from a thread she apparently forgot to erase, marked with a star. The man wrote, "If he suspects, blame it on miscommunication. He trusts you too much to push." Teyana responded, "Oh, I know. He'll believe whatever I tell him." It hit him. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't confusion. Not pressure. It was deliberate, cold, calculated. She had orchestrated every move behind his back, smiling in his face, all while promising partnership and trust. And the twist. Her co-conspirator, the man shaping the narrative, manipulating opportunities, plotting contracts, was no ordinary player. He had direct access to the same executives Teyana negotiated with, influence in critical creative spaces, and a reputation for exploiting relationships for personal gain. He wasn't helping her. He was using her. Together they were dismantling Aaron. The next revelation came in a hidden chain of emails. Documents Teyana thought secure. Draft contracts from the man listing her as the sole creative director, sole owner of the concept, the public face of the project. And Aaron? He was listed as optional talent. So, replaceable. Disposable. Optional, like a backup dancer. A replaceable extra. A piece that could be erased without consequence. Teyana's reply, "We'll tell him it's temporary. I'll get him to sign gently." Sign gently. Aaron felt a fracture open inside him. And then the emails worsened. One read, "We need to phase him out quietly. Too dramatic to cut him at the end. Start planting seeds now." Planting seeds. Teyana's response, "Already done. He thinks the network is behind these changes." Aaron collapsed into the chair. He couldn't breathe. He couldn't move. Everything he believed about her loyalty, her honesty, her integrity crumbled. In its place was a mastermind, methodical, ruthless, speaking of him like he was nothing more than a stepping stone. But then came the first devastating twist. The one Aaron never saw coming, not even after hours of scrolling, reading, piecing together every lie. The project Teyana claimed was theirs, her words, their words, was already sealed without him. She and the man had signed it. Every detail finalized. Every dollar allocated. His name? Gone. Erased. Invisible. Aaron scrolled further and found the dagger. An email from the man. After rollout, he won't be part of season 1. That gives you full control. Full control. Full control. Full control. Full control. Teyana hadn't wanted a partner. She had wanted a puppet. And the instant that sank in, Aaron's shock erupted into pure, burning rage. But the betrayal wasn't finished. The next message wasn't about contracts, projects, or money. It was about him. The man asked, "You sure he won't turn on us?" "He's emotional." Teyana responded, "He won't. He loves being guided. He needs me. He needs me." Aaron stared at that line until his eyes burned. Mentorship? Collaboration? Partnership? No. This was control, dominance, manipulation at the most intimate level. It was a blueprint for ownership of his mind and loyalty. She had underestimated him, but that miscalculation would be her downfall. Then came the final, unthinkable revelation. Aaron discovered something neither of them had anticipated. The man wasn't just using Teyana. Teyana wasn't just using him. They were both terrified of one truth. His presence threatened everything. The deal, the narrative, the control, the power they had cultivated. The man's message read, "If he discovers the real reason we cut him, it'll blow everything up. Not money, not roles, not contracts. Something deeper, personal, something Teyana never wanted the world to know." And when Aaron uncovered that secret, he knew he had no choice. He would expose it all. Because the betrayal wasn't over. It was still active, still corrosive, and the truth Aaron thought he had seen the worst. The emails. The manipulation. The erased contracts. The careful removal of his name. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared him for what came next. Scrolling past negotiations, past rehearsed pleasantries, past fake public admiration, he found it. A voice note, unlabeled, sent late at night. A recording he was never meant to hear. The man's voice. "Are you sure you want to do it this way? There are easier routes." Teyana, calm but firm, "You don't understand. If he stays attached, it opens doors for him I'm not prepared for." Aaron replayed that line 3 times. Not prepared for? The man's next words cut deeper. "You worried he'll outshine you?" Silence. Then Teyana whispered chillingly, "I'm worried he'll expose what happened." Expose what happened? Aaron's blood turned to ice. What happened? With whom? Every memory, every suspicious interaction, every subtle shift in energy suddenly snapped into focus. The man reassured her. "He wouldn't do that. He trusts you too much." Teyana's reply made Aaron's body tense. "He used to. But now he's getting smarter. Smarter is dangerous." As if his growth, his awareness was a threat. As if he needed to remain blind to protect her plan. The man sighed. "You should have told him the truth from the start." Teyana whispered, "I couldn't. Not after everything. You know that." Aaron's hands shook. His heart raced. She had been hiding a truth, one she feared he would uncover. And that truth, not contracts, not money, not creative power, was why he had to be removed. Then came the final damning audio. The man said, "He deserves to know you switched sides." Aaron leaned closer. Switch sides. Teyana's response sealed it. If he finds out I sabotaged the meeting last year, he'll never forgive me. And it will all go public. Sabotaged? Which meeting? Aaron's mind spun. The meeting he had blamed himself for, the one executive had frozen him out, the one moment that made him question everything he knew about himself. She had orchestrated it. She had destroyed his opportunity, not his mistakes, not his readiness, not his talent, her fear, her ambition, her envy. And then the follow-up question, why sabotage it? Teyana answered without hesitation, because they offered him the creative lead, not me. Aaron's jaw dropped. The moment that had shattered his confidence, sent him spiraling in self-doubt, had nothing to do with him being inadequate. It was pure strategy, pure fear, pure betrayal. She had always seen him as a threat, long before mentorship, long before projects, long before she reshaped his path. She wanted that recognition, and when it went to him, she destroyed it. And yet the unraveling continued. The man pressed. You're scared he'll discover that night, aren't you? Aaron froze.
Do you know Letterboxd?
That night, which night?
I'm about
Dozens
to know
of
what's
sessions,
up.
dozens
Okay,
of rehearsals,
Letterboxd is this
dozens of
Medicine
late
for
nights.
Melancholy,
But one night stood out.
directed by
The
Barry
night she
Jenkins.
insisted he'd trust her. The night she promised his career depended
American
on staying
Gangster.
by her side no matter what.
I
And now he
love that.
realized it held another hidden truth. Teyana whispered the answer. He wasn't supposed to hear that conversation. I didn't know he was backstage. Backstage? Aaron's head spun. Memories resurfaced. The shadows behind the curtains, muffled voices, the feeling of being close but blind, unaware. Voices, muffled, trailing off. Aaron had heard them but walked away thinking it was nothing. But then the message kept playing, cutting through the quiet of the room like a scalpel. You said something reckless, the man reminded her. Teyana exhaled a low, haunted sigh. I said we could replace him, that he was useful but not essential. Useful, but not essential. Aaron dropped the phone. His chest felt like it had been crushed, every heartbeat pounding against his ribs as if trying to escape. Every memory, every laugh, every pep talk, every "you got this" had been poisoned. Support, mentorship, encouragement, all carefully disguised manipulation. And the layers kept piling higher. The man's voice cut again. If he exposes you for what happened with the first production team, you're done. Teyana's reply was chilling. That's why we have to cut him out before he puts two and two together. Aaron's mind raced. What crisis? What first production team? Why would exposure ruin her? He tore through the messages like a man possessed. His hands shook, his breath ragged, nerves on fire. Then he found it. A hidden thread, messages deleted on her end but preserved elsewhere. Conversations with producers detailing a disaster she caused during the earliest days of the project. A disaster pinned on Aaron. Publicly blamed on him. A crisis that nearly destroyed his reputation before it even began. But the messages told the truth. She had missed deadlines. She had clashed with producers. She had failed. She had caused the collapse. And to save herself, she blamed him. Told executives he was unstable. Told collaborators he was inexperienced. Told her team he was the reason it all fell apart. She rewrote history. Painted him as the problem. Turned the industry against him. And he believed her. Months. Years. He carried the weight, doubted himself, replayed every failure. And all the while she had been manipulating the story, hiding behind him as a shield. Then came the audio clip that shattered him. As long as he blames himself, she said softly, the truth stays buried. Aaron felt the ground vanish beneath him. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't miscommunication. This wasn't a lapse of judgment. This was cold-blooded career assassination. Layer by layer, lie by lie, deception disguised as mentorship. And the final blow in that first revelation came from the man himself. A message that made Aaron's blood run ice cold. If he ever finds out why you did all this, it's over. He'll never stay quiet. Teyana's reply, he won't. That secret dies with us. But she was wrong. Because Aaron did find out. And what she had buried, the real reason she betrayed him, was explosive, reputation-shattering, career-ending. The moment his revelations leaked, the industry erupted. Screenshots. Voice notes. Timestamps. Betrayal. Sabotage. Every corner of entertainment media went into meltdown. Shock was an understatement. The internet didn't tiptoe. It erupted. Volcanoes of commentary, speculation, outrage, disbelief. Within minutes, Teyana Taylor, Aaron Pierre, betrayal receipts, and the messages themselves were trending worldwide. Fans struggled to comprehend. Many refused to believe it. Surely it was a misunderstanding, a fake leak. But the more evidence surfaced, the more screenshots, audio clips, insider confirmations, it became undeniable. This wasn't gossip. This wasn't Pierre. This was raw, orchestrated betrayal laid bare. Tweets exploded. Not Teyana playing puppet master behind the scenes. This is insane. Aaron Pierre built a whole dossier. Bro kept everything. The way she manipulated him emotionally and professionally. I'm sick. Even celebrities weighed in. Carefully, quietly, but unmistakably. I've worked with Aaron. He's genuine. This hurts, one actress tweeted. Protect black men who aren't protected enough, wrote a singer. If even half of this is true career-ending stuff, posted a director. NBA players joined disbelief in short bursts. Teyana, no way. No way this is real. But the most chilling reactions came from industry insiders. Those who knew the game, the patterns, the chessboard she played on. This isn't surprising. She plays chess, not checkers, a producer said anonymously. People warned Aaron. He just didn't want to see it, confirmed another. And then the comment that made everyone pause. She hadn't betrayed him over a project. She betrayed him because he had discovered her true self behind closed doors. The cryptic message went viral, millions of views, thousands of theories, panic rippling through her team. Teyana's defenders fought back. This is edited. Aaron's clout chasing. Receipts can be faked. But every denial was drowned out by more evidence. Screenshots. Audio snippets. Insider confirmations. Panic spreading faster than any spin could contain. A well-known industry confidant added fuel to the fire. I've seen the full files. Teyana's team is panicking. And just like that, the narrative shifted. It wasn't did she betray him anymore. It was, why? What secret? What was she hiding? Fans became detectives, dissecting interviews, red carpets, social posts. Old videos where she dismissed Aaron's contributions resurfaced. Podcasts, tweets, subtle glances in photographs. All recontextualized. TikTok threads exploded. Conspiracy theories ran rampant. Did Teyana fear Aaron would surpass her? Was she covering her own mistakes? Was there romantic tension complicating everything? Had she sabotaged more than just one meeting? Then the escalation everyone feared. A credible Hollywood reporter confirmed, there's a reason she betrayed him. It goes far deeper than a collaboration dispute. The internet shattered. Everyone demanded answers. TMZ teased. Sources claim Teyana's betrayal links to a major incident from 2 years ago, never publicly addressed. Fans erupted. What incident? What happened 2 years ago? Old clips of Teyana shifted under scrutiny. Uncomfortable expressions when Aaron's name surfaced. Photos where he seemed pushed out of the spotlight. Body language experts produced hour-long breakdowns. Every detail became a potential clue. Meanwhile, Aaron remained silent. Calculated. Still leaking pieces, exposing fragments that sent Teyana's team into chaos. Behind the scenes, panic reigned. Emergency meetings. Cease and desist threats. Attempts to control a narrative racing ahead of her. One insider confirmed, she's terrified. There's one thing she cannot have exposed. Another, if that secret drops, it's over. Completely over. And that secret, that explosive truth hadn't hit the internet yet. It didn't come from blogs, leaks, or tweets. It came directly to Aaron in the dead of night, inside a hidden folder in Teyana's Notes app, camouflaged under a harmless name. Inside 3 files. 3 files that contained every betrayal. Every manipulation. Every hidden truth. 3 files. 3 pieces of a puzzle Aaron never wanted to find, but now couldn't ignore. They revealed exactly why Teyana had erased him from the project. Why she sabotaged his early career. Why she lied to executives. Why she conspired with the man behind the scenes. And why she fought tooth and nail to silence him. The first file was a screenshot, a forwarded email from 2 years ago. Erin recognized the sender immediately, the senior executive from the meeting she had sabotaged. The email read, "We're strongly considering Erin for creative lead. He's innovative, sharp, connects with audiences authentically. This could be major." He remembered that feeling of pride. The hope. Teyana had seemed genuinely excited for him back then. But then he saw it, the part he had never seen. A forwarded chain from Teyana to that same executive. "He's immature. Not reliable enough for leadership. Trust me, give him more time. Trust me, give him more time." Erin's stomach twisted. She hadn't just withheld support. She had actively derailed him. Prevented him from rising. But the next line crushed him entirely. "Understood. We'll remove him from consideration." Remove him. She had him removed. Not because he wasn't ready, not because he wasn't qualified. Because she chose to make it happen. Betrayal, raw and deliberate. The second file was a voice recording. Teyana's voice, trembling, frantic, angry, panicked. She was speaking to the man she had been plotting with for months. "I can't let him get that position. If he does, they'll figure out what happened with the first production. They'll ask questions. They'll trace it back to me." The man replied coolly, "Then blame him. Just like before." Teyana exhaled shakily. "It worked last time, but if he gains too much power, I can't control the narrative anymore." Control the narrative. Erin replayed it over and over. That was the reason she mentored him. That was the reason she kept him close. She redirected his opportunities. Convinced him she believed in him. It wasn't mentorship. It wasn't guidance. It was containment. And then came the third file. The one that shattered everything. A PDF. A scanned legal document, something Erin had never seen. Confidential agreement. Incident resolution. He scrolled. His heart stopped. Black on white, the truth. An internal dispute from the earliest stages of the project. The dispute Teyana had publicly blamed on him. The one she had claimed ruined his reputation with producers. The contract revealed the truth. She had caused it. She had violated agreements. She had broken protocol. And at the bottom a clause. Responsibility will be attributed to the secondary party for public protection. Secondary party, Erin. Every confusing moment clicked into place. The cold executives. The lost opportunities. The collaborators' sudden distance. The miscommunication she pinned on him. The subtle narrative that he wasn't ready. It had all been a cover-up. And it wasn't just her signature at the bottom. There was another. The man she had conspired with. Her co-conspirator. Witness. Partner in erasing him. Erin's chest tightened. They hadn't betrayed him because he was weak. They betrayed him because he was strong. Rising. Talented. Irreplaceable. Executives saw his value. He could expose the truth. He could reveal the contract, the incident, everything. Teyana hadn't feared him replacing her. She feared exposure. That's why she sabotaged him. Manipulated him. Kept him close. Lied. All to protect herself. But now he had the evidence. And he made a decision. He wasn't protecting her anymore. He wasn't silent. He wasn't letting history repeat itself. He released the first screenshot. Then the audio. Then the receipts. But the most damning piece remained hidden. The contract describing the incident she buried. The one thing that would end her career. And then Erin posted one cryptic line. "You lied to me for years. You blamed me for your mistake. Now the world will hear what really happened that night." The internet froze. Everyone panicked. Everyone waited. That night. The secret she had buried. The lengths she had gone to cover it. The betrayal that had almost destroyed a career. It was about to explode. Every layer of deception had been exposed. The lies, the manipulation, the sabotage, the cover-ups, the 2-year-old secret. And now only one question remained. Are you ready for the truth about that night? Erin hasn't dropped it yet. He hasn't revealed the final file. He hasn't explained what truly happened. He hasn't exposed the incident Teyana buried so deeply she was willing to destroy a life to hide it. And when he does, it won't just shake their relationship. It won't just shake careers. It won't just shake the industry. It will obliterate everything. Now it's your turn. Drop your theories. What really happened that night? Why was Teyana so terrified? Why would she sabotage Aaron's entire career to protect it? Who do you believe? The man exposing the truth or the woman rewriting it for years? Do you think the man helping her still has secrets? Will Teyana respond or stay silent hoping the storm passes? Comment now. And make sure you're subscribed, notifications on, because when Aaron releases the final file, the truth about that night, the fallout will be total. This story isn't over. Not even close. Part 2, the final reveal. The night. The secret. Everything. It's coming.